I'm running it solo currently with some help from outsource.
The company didn't grow. What was the main cause, you think? Possible causes? Did you fail in a specific area?
I did a really deep post-mortem on the company and what killed it.
50 people is a great success, in my opinion, for anyone.
My first startup started in 2019. I was a photographer.
How did Dual came about? What was the trigger?
It was me not understanding the matrix. Right team doesn't mean the right people.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to one more video podcast. Today, I have another really special guest. He's Tom. Tom owns a company called Dio.io. Tell me, Tom, if I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
You can pronounce it dual or dual.
Oh, wow. Okay, Dual.io. And he also co-owned another company in the past with other people. They sold it. You raised some money, I think you mentioned. And then I don't know if you sold it, but you can tell us more about it. And today we're here to talk about Dual.io anyway. So again, thank you for coming, Tom. It's a real pleasure to have you here. How are you?
Thank you.
Who
Very
you
good.
are?
Thank you, Eduardo, for having me. I really like it.
Tell us who you are, Tom. Tell me what you built, and I'll ask you quite a few questions. So let's take it step by step.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just give a brief overview on what I'm doing, what I've done in the past, and how I make it happen. Currently, I'm running a venture called Dual.io. It's an audio inbox for professionals who like to deal with their emails while hands-free. So walking the dog, traveling with a baby while commute. You can listen to your emails and chat back to your emails, sending emails all with your voice and ears. I'm running it solo currently with some help from outsource developers. It's an iOS app it's an app for iOS for Gmail users. First few versions, first few users, running on it pretty much solo.
Amazing. And Tom, do you feel like you were always itching for this need of building something? You mentioned that the prior project that you had started in 2017, I think you mentioned.
2019. Yeah, definitely. I'll tell briefly about it. My first startup started in 2019. I was a photographer for 12 years before 2019. And then me and my wife moved to London and I stayed there with her for two years. This is where I started that venture. The company was called Post Pro, like short for post production. And I started building machine learning for event photographers. The goal was to help event photographers delete photos or do culling of photos automatically from events. So people closing their eyes, blurry photos, all of that, to help myself. I wanted to edit photos faster and reduce my overload. And so I taught myself how to code, taught myself machine learning over there, and started a small POC I worked on, which was pretty cool. Came back home, drafted two partners, which were my friends. We developed a product, bootstrap for 10 months, got to about $2,000 ARR and said, okay, let's raise some money to do some marketing and bring some aid. We raised about $300,000, ran for 3 years, got to uh, a couple like 25, $30,000 ARR. Didn't grow enough, and I shut down the company in 2023. This is the first run I had um, in making something from top to toe.
I'm interesting. We were here to talk about the world.io, but I'm intrigued. What makes you think that the company didn't grow? What was the main cause, you think? I mean, obviously not enough users, but did you reflect on it? Did you spot any possible causes? Did you fail in a specific area? I mean, we all.
Yeah, I did. I did a really deep postmortem on the company and what killed it. I think that the first thing that drove it down was team chemistry. Uh,
Mm,
each and every one of us, we were three, including me, and each member pulled a different direction. And then when the connection was kind of loose, I think things started to break. So the product didn't really lift off competition really flew up, and just eventually users preferred the competition.
Mm.
Also, I think that the first thing, or the first thing after team chemistry, was me not understanding the matrix. We ran small ads on Meta, and the main marketing tool we used were really vertical or specific articles to the ICPs, so photography forums specifically, and communities chatting in Facebook groups and stuff like that. And I really couldn't understand how to measure my ROI.
Mm.
Eventually, when I went back with a little more knowledge, I realized that our ROAS, the return on ad spend, was 1.1. So I returned 10 cents or a dollar 10 cents for every dollar I spent. But I didn't look at this. I looked at churn, which was pretty high, like 60% churn. And it broke me mentally. I thought the product wasn't good enough. Uh, but I was wrong. The product was just pretty young and we weren't running fast enough. So it's how I looked at what happened and misinterpreting it that caused me to shut the door on the company.
Interesting. So team chemistry and metrics. I always heard that you can have an amazing product, but you need to have the right team. And also you can have a terrible product and make it work with the right team, right?
Yeah, and it's really important to say, I'm sorry for stopping you, but it's really important to say because right team doesn't mean the right people. Each and every one of us was the perfect person. I was perfect from the domain expertise as a photographer. My co-founder CTO was a machine learning researcher, like a brilliant person, and our third co-founder was really brilliant in strategy and business. And
Wow.
each and every one of us were really perfect for the point, but together, what created the team wasn't the right mix.
Got it. Do you think it was also a matter of decision-making silos, letting someone, each one of you deciding for specific matters, having the ultimate decision, or was there anything else there? Because I think that what scares me the most when going with partners, it's that at some point the decision needs to be done, and someone, if you go to A and I go to B, I mean, someone has to say no, we're gonna go to B. One of the persons that I met recently said, when I found a partner, I actually had the idea, he said, but I gave him more than 50% of the company because when it comes to, I knew there was going to be conflicts at some point. So I just let him take a bit more so that when something like this happens, he goes with the decision. Is that something that perhaps was an issue for you, or there was more than that?
Yeah, I think that's more of a character issue or a pinpoint. To me, I let my co-founder decide whatever they wanted to decide. I was the CEO, the founder. But when there's a small team, that doesn't really mean much. CEO, CTO, all of these are just names. So I let them decide without having the final say or having the person with the vision product wise and ICP wise make the final decision. I wouldn't say it was a main issue, but definitely one of the issues of what made the team fall apart.
What two recommendations would you give to anyone based on that experience?
Wow. Anything you're not sure of, ask. Ask people who were in your shoes before you. Even if you're pretty sure you're sure, go and validate your sureness. Specifically for people who are just starting out and don't have the needed or recommended experience to not make silly mistakes, because many people have done these mistakes before me, but I was siloed in my own brain and thought, yeah, okay, I know everything, and I see the numbers, I understand them. Of course, I understand them. I can read an Excel sheet, but 60% churn was pretty obvious thing to have for a first version product.
Hmm.
Specifically when you need to educate the market about what AI means or machine learning means in 2019. So I would say the first thing is ask around, ask people before you. And the second thing is believe in yourself. I know it sounds cheesy. Believe in yourself and in your vision, even if you have doubts, because most time you have doubts. One thing my brother told me, my brother is he's a co-founder of a unicorn. He's a really interesting person. But one thing he told me that I carry with myself to this day and forward, every morning you get up and every day you get up in the morning and you tell yourself you have a startup, you have a startup. The first day you get up in the morning and you tell yourself, I don't have a startup, this startup failed.
Oh,
It's only you that makes this thing live.
that's amazing. Yeah, I feel I completely agree, man. Somehow also when people I've been meeting amazing people like yourself, and I've gotten really similar feedback on how important it is for you to believe it before someone else can believe it, right? That's a really good advice. Ask around for everything when you doubt it. Take a revalidation and also believe in it. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to Dual. So then you shut down the company and then you decided I'm gonna start probably something else. How did Dual came about? What was the trigger?
Okay. So, what I do for work is that I have an automations and AI agency. After I shut down Post-Pro, I learned some coding, some automations for Post-Pro, and I shut down the company. And it was just pretty obvious for me that this is something I can do. I can sell. There were communities, and there were businesses who purchased automations from people from agencies. So I started a micro agency, just myself, speaking with friends and businesses and giving them automations or building automation for them for pay. Right now, this agency grew. We're three people in the agency, and I have like really huge clients, enterprise, with large stacks of automations going on. So this is what pays the bills. But alongside this, the mechanics of having an agency like this is that I can choose what I do, when I do it, and how much of it I do. So I'll be open. The agency right now makes around $220,000 a year.
Nice.
It pays paychecks, of course, to the team, but that's what the agency makes. But what makes it more matter to me is that I have time for two things which are the most important for me. The first one is time with my girls, and the second one is doing things like Dual, developing them and selling them, and making something new and needed for people that I can understand and I know their need, etc. So, how did Dual come about? A conversation with my brother, the older brother I just told you about. He's the CEO, and he receives north of 100 emails a day, and he commutes. We were sitting in his garden at home some weekend, and he told me, Tom, why isn't there an audio email? I want to go on my bike, put on my earphones, listen to summaries of my email, and uh, and yeah, respond and get to the office with fewer emails. I told him, interesting. I'll get back to you.
There will be one.
There will be one, probably. I tested it, I figured, okay, there's no way there's nothing like that
Right.
around.
Right.
There were a few solutions, but none of them was really going for the hands-free experience
Right.
of a single click to respond or
So
something that's really,
sorry, let me stop
yeah.
you there. Did you go for the market research? That's an important step. We sometimes just build and then we see what's happening, or we see the research. We do the research way later. How did you research? What did you look at? Did you go to the App Store, I guess? Did you go to Reddit community?
No, I asked people I know. So first, the ICP was CEOs, startup founders who receive north of 50 emails per day. I ran a questionnaire, like a jot form with three questions into some WhatsApp groups of CEOs that I know and asked for them for 30 seconds to respond to three questions. I can't remember what the questions were, but they weren't direct. They were, how many emails do you receive per day?
Mm-hmm.
How do you prefer to consume content? And the example was, I'd rather read an article or I'd rather listen to a podcast.
Mhm.
And the third question was in WhatsApp, what do you prefer, typing or recording?
Interesting.
Just to see the preference, if there is a requirement or if there is even a market gap for people who prefer audio and voice when it comes to productivity. And around 65 people responded. 18, I think 18 or 20 people said they were on the voice and audio side.
Yeah,
So I said, okay, interesting. There is some kind of gap here I can explore. And the next thing I did was test. So I know automations and I built a quick automation that connected to the user email. They were like handpicked people. I called them, okay, let's connect to your Gmail right now. Did that for 10 minutes over a Zoom call and built an automation specifically for them. What the automation did is that it ran on their email every 5 minutes, collected emails to a database, which was a Google Sheet. And every morning there was a different automation that took all these emails, processed them, made summaries of them, and then made a summary of the summary, turned it into an audio, and sent it to them in a WhatsApp message.
amazing.
So they received in the morning, I think with a 60 or 80 seconds audio message, what's in their inbox since midnight.
Okay, so it was a summary of all the emails
Yeah,
sent to their WhatsApp once a day.
yeah.
Okay, were they able to reply?
No, and
Okay,
that's exactly what I was planning for because I told
nice.
myself, okay, if something will be missing, they will say. So it means they have intent to continue using this type of mechanic. So their emails in summary, in audio. And if they have some intent to reply to these emails, I know I have something
I see.
because they have like an internal push. Okay, I want to respond.
Amazing.
And once I got that, and I saw, okay, like 7 out of 10 people asked me, hey, how can I respond to these emails? I told myself, okay, this needs to be an app.
I love it. Right, so it was the proper like the proper spot. Like you let's say you were trying to catch them right-handed just to see whether they will fall, just catch the hook just by replying to the website.
And I think it was a win-win because
Mm.
the metal was hot.
Yeah.
They just responded to the form.
Hmm.
So they remember what I want from them. And preparing an automation of this sort would taken me, I don't know, 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, because I understood the flow in my head. And I said, okay, I can use off-the-shelf tools like make.com and Google Sheets and OpenAI calls and Whisper call and generate these summaries and audio files. So I generated one automation and I could replicate it towards each of the users' emails.
Mm.
Asked all 60 of them to respond and responded, and this is what I did.
I'm curious, was your brother one of them?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
nice. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So all right, so you saw people asking you, "Hey, how can I actually reply to this? What happens next?"
So I think this was a mistake on my end because I jumped. I understood this. I understood this had to be mobile because audio and hands-free isn't a laptop thing. It's a mobile thing. You do it again when you're walking and when you're commuting, etc. So the mistake was I jumped right away to develop an iOS app.
Hmm.
What I needed to do now, looking back, is develop a web app
Got it.
that does the same thing.
PW.
Just yeah, just develop a web app that would take much faster to develop, much faster to prototype, and put in users' hands, these users specifically. What happened eventually is that I went into developing an iOS app that took time, and those users became cold. And busy people, they didn't want to try it. So I had to reinitiate communication with new people.
Does iOS apps take longer to develop than a web app, in your opinion?
Um, To me, it did because it was the first time I developed an
Ah,
iOS app.
right, right, right.
Um, and it was the first time to me that I had to develop an app that requires restricted scopes from Google.
Mm,
So when you develop an app and you ask a user to sign up with Google and you ask the user to read their emails, that's a restricted scope from Google. This means you need to go over a really tight security process
mm,
from Google. They check your code base, your front end,
mm.
and then they approve or disapprove your application based on how secure it is. So that took 6 weeks
Oof,
to
okay.
approve.
They take
Yeah. So just beginners mistakes. Now looking back, I would do it in dev mode and do it in a web app and try to get as many early adopters who don't care as fast as I can. But yeah,
Nice.
bygones be bygones.
Right, so the takeaway here is that if you have a pool of beta users who are just testing out your very early MVP with the automation, is get that app up and running as soon as possible because they might be ready to give it a try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and provide feedback. The feedback was what I was looking for, but it was not there anymore.
So at this point, you launch again and you're like, "Ah, damn it, everyone is cold here. How do you reconnect or connect with new fellas, with new users?
So this is when I had to reconstruct the ICP. So my previous startup got me into a community of founders through the investors community. My investors were called Fusion VC, a really amazing accelerator back in Tel Aviv, making hundreds of investments a year, and the founders are incredible. So I tried to tap into this community. I'm pretty active there, and people kind of know me. But eventually, what I see today is that they just didn't have time to try a new thing, let alone on their email, which is pretty sensitive to them. So I, it was a sign, I think, that the ICP might not be as clear as I thought, or not as accurate as I thought. It's not just people who are busy with their email who would like to get a hands-free inbox because they have many other options. It's people who would like hands-free experience regardless of how many emails they have. This is when I turned to Reddit
Okay.
and I started exploring subreddits and see what people are talking about, what they're doing, became active. And then the first few users to the test flights version came from there.
Okay. Any communities any subreddits or yeah, subreddit?
iOS productivity subreddit were the best ones, and some others around Gmail, Google Workspace, and AI.
How do you reach out to them? Because Reddit is
I
becoming.
never reached out.
Uh-huh.
Just always talking about what the community was interested in, but tried to focus on posts that were somewhat related to see if I can take or I don't want to say take, but if I could float the idea that a product like this exists, but also see or keep my eyes and ears open to see if I'm missing something.
Right.
If I've done something that nobody wants, or if the conversation isn't there at all, try to sniff around and see what people are talking about.
Right. And when it comes to sharing, when you have the chance to share your idea on Reddit, do you have a specific recommendation on how to do it? Because sometimes when you even share a slight idea of what you're trying to say, really by sharing your idea, they might just ban your post because they say, this is not a place to promote apps or products.
I think two things. First, it must make sense. If it doesn't make sense to push your product,
Mm.
don't do it.
Right.
Just on a human level, you don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
sell where nobody wants to buy. That's the first. And second, if it makes sense, always say what you're doing, who you are, and be as transparent as you can.
Nice.
Hey, listen, if you see in my example, someone was talking about having an email overload. So I took the conversation to, okay, what are you using? And then just the thread became a bit deeper. And when it made sense, eventually I said, okay, you might want to try something I'm working on. I'm a solo founder, I'm a solo developer, no funding, no VC, nothing of that sort. Uh, Give it a try. If you like it, I can send you a coupon to try for free. But always say what you are, what it is, and
Right. So
don't just, oversell.
be very transparent. I like that. Yeah. Sometimes when you meet people who really want to sell, they're like, "Hey, hello, what's your name? Sorry, I'm Eduardo. I sell this."
Yeah,
Sounds like that, right? Uh,
yeah, exactly.
that's amazing. Okay, so we got a few people coming from Reddit. How many users can I ask does Dual
So
have?
under 50,
Under 50.
just under 50. Yeah.
Are you profitable at this point?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
So
mean, I am because when you take the credits I got from Google, and I'm not paying for any of the credits, so I am. But when you think about it, not at this point. I think development with the outsource cost around $12,000,
okay, right. Yeah, so it's
and
long-term investment, a long-term.
yeah, not that long term, but yeah, not right away.
Yeah, something that many people I feel like also think of when they come to SaaS. Just doing a small parenthesis, I don't know. I'm just trying to get your opinion here.
Hmm.
I feel like many people come in thinking of the big margins that you can make on SaaS or apps without really thinking about the fact that it takes a great deal of effort and time to acquire customers. Either you have a really innovative idea that really crashes the internet, or when you solve a specific need that not many people actually have, but
Hmm.
a community for it. You need to find that community. You need to nurture it. You need to, build a trust, make them try it, and that takes time because we're talking about 50 people is a great success, in my opinion, for anyone. It's a lot of people, but maybe for someone who's never been on the in this world of SaaS, they think that you simply launch the app, you build it, you launch it magically somewhere, and then the customers just flock into your app. What do you think about that?
That's the hard part, honestly. I don't know what people think. I know that a lot of people on LinkedIn and Twitter say this, that hey, you can't just build it and they will come. That's probably true, but I don't know what other people think. I know what the internet has to say,
Hmm.
which is there are a lot of apps out there, either mobile or web apps. A lot is like the stars in the galaxy. This is how many apps there are, and eventually I know how many apps I use,
Hmm.
um, and that's around 10. 10 apps I use regularly. If I do that math, I know that there are many redundant applications out there. So probably true. And with the age of AI, where you can just prompt to an application, it's even more. I think that expectations are to be met. There's a lot of noise outside, even in Product Hunt and other places like that. Every day, so many products are out there. And even if your product is great, and even if it's really helpful for some people, these some people still need to hear about it.
Hmm.
They need to hear about it constantly,
Hmm.
and they need to hear about it in a positive context.
Yeah,
And that takes time, and it takes effort, and it also takes creativity. Because if you go the paid ads path,
yeah,
that's a hole with no bottom. You can just keep paying and hope for the best.
for the best. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're
Do
really lucky, and you just target exactly the
Yeah, but
recipe, the person who is even that is difficult. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Even if you're from the market and really, really successful, Post Pro was a real success. Why? Because the first day we launched with an article. We had 500 signups within like 4 hours. It was insane. We couldn't handle it, like really.
That was
Um,
the
the,
photography,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. But
I
it
asked.
was really hyper focused
Okay.
with an article specifically for the readers, which I know are relevant to that product.
Right. What was the article about? I'm curious now.
It was just, I think it's still up there. It's in a website called F-Stoppers, and I think the title was Wand. That's the product name. The company was PostPro. The product was Wand. an Adobe Lightroom plugin that will call your photos for you. So the promise was out there, and photographers were like, okay, what is that? Let's check it out. The promise was there. The value proposition was really clear. Okay, here's machine learning. It looks at photos from your event with people with eyes closed. It just marks them red, and you can ignore them.
Do you think that maybe sorry, just focusing a bit
Yeah,
more
yeah,
on
yeah,
the whole
of course.
thing, do you think the fact that it was in an article format gave the thought of maybe that's coming from a newspaper article, some sort of thing, and that would be that was building a bit of trust in the readers, or you think that the article itself had so much value and it was so well targeted that had the effect that it had?
I think it must be both.
Both. Okay.
It must be both. So the publication F Stoppers was a really trusted source. Person who did the article on us tried the product for a long time before she decided to go with it. Annette, she was really asking a lot of questions and really wanted to get the information out there. And eventually, the article was pretty straightforward. It explained what the product does, what the features can do, what benefit it brings the users, what they can expect, what they shouldn't expect, and where she thinks the tech is at that point. And eventually, I think that her position that she trusted it helped the readers click sign up.
Amazing. All right. I love the strategy. I think it's just a really good strategy by itself when you put it all together. So,
Yeah,
Tom, let's go back a bit to Dual. Because
yeah.
I didn't know you had also the automation business, man. You've been like everywhere. I'm a big fan of Make.com, so I love to hear about the thing that you had to build for the MVP. You can really take it to the limit, to the sky. And now there is this MCP concept as well that's really coming to life. I think they make launched 5 days ago. Really powerful. In terms of Dual, how did you get to 50 users?
Um, that's a really great question. Honestly, in June, I was pretty busy with the agency, so I didn't
This
touch
June?
Dawn that much. This June, yeah, last month.
Hmm?
I was pretty busy with the agency and didn't touch Doll that much. Like just looking at Matrix and didn't push so much and didn't write Reddit so much because I just couldn't. But then I finished June and I opened the app like 4 or 5 days after I haven't looked at the Matrix and I saw 12 new users,
Oh wow. Okay.
paid users. I was like, okay, how did that happen? I haven't noticed. And it seemed that a Facebook group, some Facebook group was discussing this product. Somebody just posted the App Store URL. People were talking about it, and it
So,
worked over there.
so someone perhaps from Reddit that had tried your product started talking about it.
Probably, I don't know. Yeah, it's
Really?
unmeasurable.
I think that shows how good it can be, right? When people start recommending it, I mean, it speaks by itself.
Yeah, exactly. So I really don't know what happened, and I think this is something it's something I'm investigating right now. I believe it's the brand awareness thing I was doing, nice and easy and slowly. But I think right now in July 22nd,
For a second.
yeah, it's big.
This is big.
I cannot do enough to take it to the next step. It's either bringing more people in to do what I do or doing automation, which I'm kind of scared of because it,
Hmm.
it becomes really unnatural.
I see.
Uh, yeah, using the Reddit API to comment or
Right.
building an agent that would comment for me and develop conversations. I can do that technically. I can do that logically, but I don't think it's the right approach for the product in this current stage.
Right. You want to
Uh,
continue like being exposed to what people are saying on in the community
yeah,
about.
yeah. Right now, I feel kind of behind
I
on
see.
that because I'm not doing enough, or at least I feel I'm not doing enough. But yeah, that's about it.
Amazing. Can I ask you about your? Okay, so we'll have to pick up the discussion on Dual in a few months to see, what happened
Yeah,
at Facebook Spark. Can I ask you about your? Oh, sorry. By the way, parenthesis. How long do you have, Tom?
I'm good.
Are you good? Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Eh, Just let me know whenever you want to stop.
Of course.
Tom, can I ask you a bit about your automation agency? I'm really interested because now everyone is talking about AI automation, and I feel like there's so many out there, and it's becoming just like a really crowded space. How did you manage to bring it to you said three people are working with you. You've got big companies in the pipeline or also as clients.
As clients, yeah.
How did you make it grow? Like what were the main channels that you tackled, if you can? Uh,
Yeah, I the agency isn't doing marketing at all. Not
wow.
even the slightest sales, not even the slightest marketing. The website is something I built in Figma website builder, just to have something out there.
What's the name so people know?
So it's just my name.com.
Oh wow, tomazaria.com.
Yeah, because it started as when I was just a single person
Love it.
in the agency. My first client was a friend's business. They wanted a new website. I can design a bit with Wix. I'm a Wix partner. So I built them a website and developed some kind of automation for lead generation.
Nice.
Just some kind of form and that goes into Monday.com. This is how it started. And then first of all, I liked it. I believed in it. That was 2023, beginning of 2023. And I just told people about it. Hey, this is what I'm doing. If you need, let's do it. And I took clients, which some were friends, some were friends of friends, so first and second circle, for really bottom prices, just to learn, just to understand better what I'm doing and learn this world better. So no, it's tough to say, but one thing led to another,
Mhm.
and one friend brought their brother's company and a company that invested in his product, and it's just people talk. And right now, I have clients, we can measure it in employee size, from companies from 5 employees to the largest one has 3,000 employees.
Oh wow. Well, congratulations. I think
Yes.
that's a big success in terms of running an automation agency, especially nowadays.
Yeah, I think I was in the right place at the right time because the first year and a half, there was no AI. I just understood business workflows and
And
I could, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask, and these customers literally came through word of mouth. You did no marketing at all, no communities, no ads, nothing. Just doing a good job, letting people talk about yourself, just like it's happening with Duo as well on
Yeah,
Facebook.
actually, yeah.
And are you doing automations? I'm curious on make.com, N8N. Are there any
Yeah,
platforms
make.com, N8N, coding automations.
coding automation?
So for myself, I'm really hot on Cloud Desktop with MCPs. So I have a CRM in Notion, and I was used to updating it and just clicking buttons, etc. And then I just connected the Notion MCP, and I don't remember the last time I looked at my Notion board. I'm just speaking with it through Notion, through not Notion,
Well,
through Claude Desktop, which is really insane when you think about it. The micromanaging I did to myself before was insane, and right now I just prompt something, hey, update all of these tasks for this client that's completed. I generate these new tasks, assign it to Amit, one of my developers, and it just does that, and I can continue doing other things while it does that. Something I'd recommend anyone to do right
maybe for
now.
the people listening, do you want to briefly explain what MCP means? Because it's a really new concept, I would say, in the automation space.
Okay, first of all, you need to understand what API means. API is how applications communicate with each other. So Notion and Monday.com, I don't know, just two apps I use. Both of them have APIs, but they were not developed by the same company. So they develop a window. Let's call it a window that transmits information in a specific structure. And until MCP, I had to hard code those sentences. So if I'm Notion or if I'm coming from Notion, I needed to hard code open a new item in Monday. And every time I wanted to do something like that, I had to click a specific button that would make that call, that specific call, and vice versa. Right now, MCP, developed by Anthropic or Model Context Protocol, is another layer that translates API calls to natural language. So I can just write to Claude, hey, Claude, I want to open a new item in Notion. Claude understands using that MCP server that I want to open a new item. It looks in the MCP server documentation, you can call it. How do I open a new item? It takes that API call because it's documented there and it's using it.
Mhm.
Now, it can do more complex things because I can tell it, hey, open an item and call it blah and blah. And it would say, okay, I know how to open an item, but where do I do it? So it comes back and it tells me, okay, to which board do you want me to open that? And I would give it the name of the board, and it would go back, list all the boards because it needs to figure out which board I want, grab its ID, and open the item over there. So now I don't have to hard code the API calls and I don't need to keep it updated. Right now, as long as the MCP server is updated, my code is updated.
I don't think I'll be able to explain it so well. Thank you.
Of
Really clear.
course.
I think I learned something new as I was listening to you. That's it's an amazing feature. I think it's even scary. Like it's evolving so fast, right? A few years
Yeah,
ago, OpenAI came about, and now we can literally prompt a need, and it gets executed in a different app that we haven't even opened. What do you think
exactly.
the future of automation and AI is headed in the next 5, 10 years?
So when I speak with clients and they ask that question a lot, I don't know.
That's
I
the
would
right
assume,
answer.
I'm just creating a future image to myself from what I hear other people say and build and do. What I appreciate the most is what Microsoft CEO keeps going back to. Satya says that AI and automation will take UIs and make them obsolete. The example he says is that you will have an agent that will speak directly with databases. You don't need to click any more buttons because think of what UIs are. UIs are just a port to
Mhm.
change databases or to make manipulations on databases, change information in one place, or click on information in one place and change it in a different place. So, this is what I think AI and automation will do eventually to applications, to SaaS. It will just cancel them. And UIs will be really, really simple and informative. Let's take what Meta is doing with their Meta glasses,
Mhm.
just really specific notifications
Yeah.
and dashboards, and all of the communication will be run through voice, audio, and a mix of what Apple Vision is doing. So hand gestures and stuff like that, because you can't talk all the time.
Right. So it will be like a very mental slash visual interaction, more than
Yeah, yeah,
um,
I think so.
I.
People are saying it will make us cyborgs, but then Elon Musk said something really interesting. He said, we are already cyborgs. It's
Mm.
just not embedded in us, but we're holding it, we're typing into it. We are cyborgs to some extent. It's fine.
Right. That's a yeah. I mean, that's a really well put future prediction. I think I would totally agree because I mean, with AI and not even with AI, I feel like people want to be somehow, let's say, more efficient, right? They feel like they want to do things faster in an easier manner, and AI is allowing that. I mean, you can literally, your app itself, it's amazing. You just have to go on a walk and you're replying emails, right? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, well, you have to sit down on your desktop and you have to start replying manually. Now it's just that's one of the feature apps that is gonna probably be very welcomed by the community of AI and tech adopters that want to make their life much easier and more efficient. So I would definitely give it a try, Tom. I need to
Perfect.
open the site yet, the account, but I will definitely, now that you told me about it, it seems very, very convenient. And I like going for walks every day, as well as exercise. So I always feel like, there's something missing as I'm walking. I wish I could just reply to something now because I'm exercising, I'm doing work at the same time. I don't have to feel bad. Um,
Yeah, that's the whole point, really.
Tom, I think I have to thank you, first of all,
Thank
very
you.
much for coming. It's been a real pleasure. Also, great to meet you. I think it will be an interesting friendship, I would like to call it, at some point in the future. We manage to keep in touch. And if you accept my next invitation to continue talking about how Dual is doing, especially as AI evolves and how also the automation is evolving, I hope people can reach out to you.
Of course, I'd love that. Thank you for asking the hard questions. That really made me think. Uh,
My
yeah,
pleasure.
let's meet again soon.
Nice. Do you have a good time? Do you enjoy the chat?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I
Okay,
mean, your questions really took me thinking.
I love it. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leonardo. Really appreciate your time.